approached the frat house, trampling grass strewn with the occasional empty beer can. "You aren't leaving, are you?" a jovial blonde asked. She smiled. "Yep. But we're just getting here." She shrugged, swayed a bit, then pointed at them. "You're lost, knuckleheads." All laughed. "Couldn't you just stay for one game of beer pong?" the blonde asked hopefully. "Or maybe to shoot some pool? I need to win my $20 back." "Already spent it," she called merrily. "See ya." She waved, nearly losing her balance again. Stumbling to one side, she threw her arms out as though she were on the deck of a rocking ship, listing one way, then the other. When she didn't fall, she grinned big and threw her hands up in the air like an Olympic gymnast finishing a routine. The men all clapped, whistled, and cheered. Laughing in delight, she staggered down the sidewalk, turned, and headed up the street. "You think we should walk her home?" the blonde asked softly. The brunette beside him leered after Krysta. "I'll walk her home. I'll walk her all the way home." The blonde shoved him. "Cut the shit. She isn't like that." Etienne decided he liked the blonde. The brunette scowled. "Whatever." Loping up the steps, he entered the house. The blonde frowned after Krysta, then, urged on by his other buddy, joined the party. Etienne watched Krysta pause under a streetlight, part her coat, and reach into an inner pocket. Beneath, she wore tight black pants that showed every shapely curve of her long legs, and a black t-shirt that hugged small, firm breasts. Etienne had always been a sucker for women with athletic builds. Out came an iPod Touch. She conquered her inebriation long enough to tuck earbuds into her ears, but the battery must have run down because she swore and tucked everything back into her pocket. Etienne rose. That pause had cost her. Dark figures slithered from the shadows on either side of the frat house and followed her as she resumed her trek uphill. Etienne leapt nimbly to the next roof, careful not to make any sound that would alert the vampires to his presence. He counted 4 and monitored their progress as they slunk from shadow to shadow, dogging the woman's wobbly footsteps. Krysta began to sing, utterly oblivious to the creatures who stalked her. Unfamiliar with the song, Etienne assumed it was one of the latest pop hits. His lips twitched as he leapt to the next roof. She was having a hell of a time remembering the lyrics, or the right notes. Krysta couldn't carry a tune, and he was pretty sure it wasn't the alcohol. She came to a corner and halted. A look of confusion flitted across her pretty features as she squinted up at the street sign. Etienne froze, careful to ensure no light touched him. Had her gaze flitted from the sign up to him? No. She was looking all around, like she either didn't know where she was or couldn't remember where she intended to go. The vampires slunk farther into the shadows mere moments before she glanced in their direction. She mumbled. "I think—" She spun in a circle. "Right." She crossed the deserted street, past Etienne's building, and entered a dark alley? Really? Had she no sense of self-preservation? Etienne drew his katanas as the vampires flowed into the alley behind her like a black tide. Their thoughts, a writhing mass of madness, violence, and anticipation, struck him like poisoned arrows. Being telepathic could really suck sometimes. He frowned, only then realizing he hadn't heard any of Krysta's thoughts. As he watched her stumble toward the end of the alley, not yet noticing that her path would soon be blocked by a tall chain-link fence, he focused on her tipsy head and heard nothing. Very unusual. He could count on one hand the number of humans he had encountered in his 2 centuries of existence who could block, intentionally or not, his entrance into their minds. She halted. The vamps spread out across the alley, facing her. Light from the street distended and distorted the shadows at their feet, making it seem almost as though they reached for her ankles.